It was a tough week for fantasy coaches who also support Parramatta, with the two moving into the wooden spoon spot. But I will attempt to swallow my sadness here in going through the top scorers for NRL Fantasy Round 16. Let's get right into it. We got the top 10 here. First one here, first of a couple of Titans actually that appear on this list. We got Jayden Campbell in the top spot, 89 fantasy points. He had 3 try assists in this game. He had a try as well. He had the 3 offloads and 11 goals. So this game was just one of those games where one team turned up to play and the other one didn't. And the Titans put an absolute score on the Warriors in this game, scoring 60-plus points. I believe it was the most points in the club's history for the Titans. And for Jayden Campbell, 89 points for you as a fantasy owner who had him in a buy round this week. Mate, that is a massive win. 559K is a good price. He'll get the halfback dual position at some point in the next month or so as well. But that's an absolutely massive score for him. For Jayden Campbell too, there is a bit of talk that he might have fractured something in his hand. There might be some sort of injury in the hand. So keep an eye on that news because he could be potentially facing a little bit of time on the sideline. We don't know what's happening there yet. But as of today, it looks like it's okay. He does have the bye next week anyway, so that should be a good rest for him. Next up, Keano, Kini, 523K, a little bit cheaper, a little bit lower score, but no goal kicking, right? So it was probably a more impressive score here with the 85 points. Kini has gone back-to-back 85-point games, which is absolutely crazy. It's hard to fathom, right? Because he was racking up 18-point games at the start of the year, and he's just come out and he's absolutely put on some scores here. So for this one, 2 try-savers, very good defensive performance. He had the 249 meters run, 2 tries in this game as well. Keano Kini is just a guy who's hard to tackle, and he's showing that a lot this year. Big question is, if Jayden Campbell is playing 6, Kieran Foran's playing 7, Keeney's playing 1, where does AJ Brimson play when he comes back? Because arguably, you would have said a month ago, he's the best player of the lot, right? So does he come back into fullback? Does Kini get knocked out? Is Brimson going to center? Like, what's going to happen here? We'll have to wait and find out, but Kini is on fire, man. All right, third on the list here, we got Terrell May, 84 fantasy points. This is a real forwards performance here. He scored a try, which wasn't a big fantasy point try, but he scored that try, 37 tackles. He had the 3 offloads, and he had 214 run meters as well. The guy just plays big minutes when they have players out for Origin. So usually it's if Crichton and Lindsay Collins are out, that's when Terrell May really steps up. He probably doesn't have too many more of these games in him unless there are injuries to the Roosters. So I would say don't be going and buying Terrell May, but if you have him still, enjoy the scores, enjoy the price rises. Probably get rid of him by round 19 is my feel on that one. All right, fourth here, Damien Cook comes up big, 82 points for his fantasy coaches. Again, classic Hooker's performance here. He had 44 tackles. I think it was only 2 missed tackles there as well. You have the 2 try assists, but most importantly, 8 tackle busts. Now, it was up against a Manly side who were missing a lot of players. So Ola Kawatu was out for them, obviously. No Jake Trebojevic. They're missing Lachlan Croker. They're missing DCE. Missing Tommy Turbo. They're missing quite a few players out of this team from the full-strength side. Ruben Garrick as well. And they had a team that it looked a bit light, right? So they called up every favor they could basically to fill the 17 this week. Damien Cook was one of the big beneficiaries there, though. He was unstoppable through the middle. He looked faster than anyone on the field, and his fitness really showed out in this game as well. So the Cookie Monster, look, 714K is going to be more expensive than that next week. He's still an option you could look at buying after round 17 because he's looking like that top hooker option for this year. Then Joey Tapine is up next. And for Joey Tapine, again, 703K, pretty good price point, 76 fantasy points. He only played in the 50s for his minutes, so it's a big PPM game without playing huge minutes. The Raiders got absolutely stomped by the Tigers, which makes his score more impressive or maybe less impressive, depending on how you look at it. But for Joey Tapine, 3 offloads, 5 tackle busts, 177 meters run. He was pretty dominant through the middle, which is crazy considering how Canberra weren't able to convert on that, and the Tigers just kept on putting on points. So for Joey Tapine, he's a guy who he produces through the Origin period. I had questions about him, so he was on our buy list, but I thought, Papali's not playing Origin anymore. Hudson Young, he has a pretty dodgy spot there. Corey Horsburgh is not in the equation right now. Smithies is a palm, right? So I thought the minutes might stay a bit lower, but his PPM has gone up massively through this period. And then notable mentions here for some guys who, and there's one of these guys in particular who is never on this list. But I'll go through them in order. So Coruscant, 75 points, was on fire. If you got him as your hooker, him and Cook look like the 2 best options through this period with the scores they got today. You've got Lachlan Galvin there next. And for Galvin, 75 points, he showed out Galvin is a really good fantasy scorer next to Caesar, is the feel I'm getting. I haven't looked at the stats on it yet, but next to Caesar, I feel like Caesar plays that steering number 7 role. Galvin just gets to play loose footy, and he is unstoppable playing that role. Next, we've got Jarom Hughes, 74 points. He has been producing points for fun while Munster's been out. And while Munster is out, he's one of the best halves in fantasy. And then Khan Pereira, this is one of his first appearances on this list. In fact, for zero tackle, this is the first appearance of Khan Pereira on this list. So he makes the third Titan in the top 10, which is crazy. 71 points. Again, they stomped the Warriors, and he was a big part of that. And then Keon Kalamatangi, 250 run meters, 68 points, had a try as well. So he's a guy you can expect to be in this list sometimes. But Cam Murray does come back soon, so he'll probably go back to the edge and be a little less reliable as a scorer. Anyway, that is Zero Tackle's top fantasy scorers for round 16. Hopefully your team went well. Hopefully you rise in the ranks. Keep an eye on this week where we're going to post our buys and our crazy picks as well. I'll see you on that video.